Crinacle is a name which does not require any kind of introduction. It is definitely one of the most prominent and if not the biggest name influencer in the IEM or earphone industry. And Crinacle has been doing quite a lot of collaboration, releasing some product in ear monitors in particular. And the latest one from Crinacle would be a collaboration with Kiwi Ears named Singolo, right? So this Singolo is available now from Linsol Audio, priced at 79 US dollar. And what you're gonna get inside is, of course, this box and the IEM itself already attached. In my case here, with this silicone tip, I am happy to see that they also include this white ball silicone tips and this very interesting looking L-shaped plug 3.5 mm single-ended. So wearing this Singolo is pretty much a very simple affair. Okay, it is made entirely of hard resin. You can almost see the content of it. Let me just get this cable untangled first. Bear with me, okay? All right. All right. No. Hold on. Finally, okay. It was kind of a bit messy there, okay? But it wasn't planned, that was really candid, okay? So apparently the cable is like, so prone to tangling. But once you got it untangled, wearing it is very simple, just like this, okay? Put it into my ear. Once it's latched and bedded in, it's just, the seal is good, okay? And then the comfort is also good. So ergonomically, I would say that this is one of the IEM which is lightweight and comfortable to use for even prolonged period of time. So now let's talk about some of the details pertaining to the technology inside this Singolo. One of the biggest key selling factor for this Singolo is supposedly this very special 11 mm single dynamic driver developed by Kiwi Ears with this special technology called CARS. So in this video, I will not be talking too much about it because obviously you can learn about CARS technology by watching Crinacle himself in his YouTube channel. Okay, he will explain in detail what are those CARS stand for. But to my knowledge, looking at it, this is pretty much a 11 mm LCP dynamic driver. And of course, it comes with impedance rating somewhat rather high for an IEM at 32 ohm with sensitivity at 108 dB. Okay, so driving this Singolo is pretty much a straightforward affair. I was able to use my phone, all right, which is Sony Xperia Mark 1. No issue at all, but I must admit that kind of like it does require, seems to be, responding better if you apply more power to it. Because when I use my phone, the headroom which I got was pretty much almost over 85%, not much left. And I spent quite a lot of time listening to this Singolo using this, my favorite of mine, which is FIO BTR15, and also this desktop DAC amp of mine, which is Burson Audio Playmate 2 V7 op amps, okay? Out of the box, when I first listened to this Singolo, and it is obviously, not surprisingly, yet another IEM tuned and designed to cater for the majority of masses who love big bass. Yes, this is one very bassy IEM out of the box, definitely, right? Especially pre-burn-in. The only thing that I was able to hear was dominance of lower frequency, mid bass and sub bass, especially sub bass, both of them. So having said that, I would just simply want to declare upfront that, usually when I test IEM or audio equipment, I will run through this playlist that you see here, okay? So a combination of different type of music, different genre, especially jazz, folk, or even classical music. And I would just simply would like to declare that this Singolo is not suitable for majority of them, okay? So let me just clarify this. It is definitely not suitable for technical jazz, okay? Like Diana Krall or even Cine. It is not suitable for folk music, right? Or even bluegrass, like Alison Krauss. It is not suitable for classical music like Vivaldi or even Beethoven. Okay, it is not suitable also for certain instrumental music like from Russian circle, and it is also not suitable for some rock and metal because some rock and metal would require a specific kind of approach and attack. Okay, so what is this Singolo suitable then? I just gonna simply put it this way. I switched to another playlist of mine, which you can see here, which I have always kept to test certain type of IEM. Yes, indeed. Definitely this Singolo is more suitable for modern type of music, the more exciting, the more bassier, alright, bassy, big bass kind of music, like, The Prodigy, Depeche Mode, Josh Wing, Massive Attack, or those who exhibit quite a lot of, prominence in lower frequency, performance, like, contains a lot of bass, contains a lot of this electronic element to the sound itself, then this Singolo would definitely suit. And I would even say that it is suitable for K-pop or J-pop or anything like that, or even pop music like Madonna. Okay, so having said that, the general presentation of this Singolo is definitely the typical Crinacle type of tuning, which exhibits some sort of, preference toward harmonish kind of sound curve. But definitely this is, again, I will repeat, very focused towards lower frequency, because I think one of the key reasons is that if we step back and have a look at the cars technology developed by Kiwi Ears, the description of cars itself, as I read online, was intended to improve, to provide the kind of experience with lower frequency. Okay, and I can tell you definitely, I think they have achieved the target there, because the dominance of lower frequency is just so very obvious in this Singolo. So how does the rest of the sound spectrum sounds like? Okay, let me just have a look at the mid-range itself. The good thing about this Singolo is that it does appear to be not as colored. I would even say that it is kind of a bit neutralish, because I do not feel that there's any kind of coloration or warming effect, right? Not that too obvious with the mid-range itself, to a point that, at certain instrument, all right, for as long as it does not require tonal accuracy or precision or transparency, then it sounded realistic enough to my ear. So that is definitely something which I can appreciate. But when we move towards a lower frequency, again, now let's talk a bit more on the lower frequency. You see, again, I have mentioned this repeatedly previously, okay, that the dominance of the lower frequency is the focus for this Singolo. Meaning that if I were to listen to something like Vivaldi, okay, which contains a lot of instrument, multi-layered instrument, okay, there's a sense of loss of precision and, let's say, how would say, the tonality accuracy to it, because the attack since sounded a bit subdued, so does the decay. It does not sound crisp enough, okay? It does not sound precise enough. So there's a bit of coloration there with the mid-range itself when it comes to instrument. But if you keep it to just electronic music, so no issues at all. This is, this Singolo offers the kind of mid-range which I would consider as being rich sounding, engaging, vibrant, and talking about being vibrant, the overall energy of the Singolo is definitely something which I would consider as being energetic, vibrant, and euphonic. So if you want fun sounding IEM, this is one of them, okay? So let's talk about a bit more on the upper frequency. The treble for this Singolo is, thankfully, I would say that it would appeal to both people who love treble and also to people who prefer the treble to be kind of a bit, relaxed. So what it means is that there's some definition, or should I say, some level of roll off there in order to achieve that kind of smoothness. Okay, the decay itself focus a bit more on airy smoothness rather than crispness. So we are talking about some, less pronounced treble macro detail and a bit of pronounced micro detail. So depending on your preference, this might be something which you like, but if you are treble head, probably you would not like this, okay? And talking about some of the technical aspect of it. Okay, while the soundstage does appear to be open, it is not wide enough as compared to other IM which I have tested. But the good thing is that I feel that it is holographic enough to provide an immersion, right? If you listen to binaural type of music or even for gaming. Up until now, Crinacle has released quite a number of collaboration over the years. I have actually lost count. I haven't been able to test all of them, but as you can see here, you can see that at least there's 4 Crinacle IEM collaboration exhibited there. And I am not actually putting all of them because I know there's a few others, but I am putting this up for the sake of comparison. So let's talk about comparison of this Singolo here with the rest of the Crinacle collaboration. First, I'll just simply openly declare that, among all of the Crinacle collaboration, I like the most Salnotes Dioko, which was released almost like 2 years ago or even over a year ago. Okay, Dioko to me is something which I would consider as the pinnacle of Crinacle tuning. Okay, when it comes to balance, overall, tonality, overall dynamic, the way it presents the dynamic and everything. Dioko is something which I can really enjoy. it aged closer to my preference, which is more towards neutral thing, but it is definitely not neutral. It is kind of a bit warmish, okay? Smooth and definitely immersive. So, but another very popular collaboration from Crinacle is actually this Zero. So as you can see there, there's 2 Zero listed there. I have already reviewed, Salnote Zero, which was released, over a year ago. And as you can see there, it is pretty much an okay IM for me, at least according to my subjective and objective preference. It scores overall 75, but not too long after that, Salnotes or even 7Hz, which is the same company, released the successor to Zero, which is Zero 2 here that I have in my hand. And as you can see there clearly, all right, this is a very special IM, okay, from Crinacle, collaboration of Crinacle. It is perhaps the only IM that scores everything 8. Why is it all 8? Because this is super very well balanced throughout the entire spectrum of sound, performance, value, package, everything, you name it, okay? This is an IM which is easy to like, okay? But I still feel that Dioko is a better IM, okay? But Dioko also costs a bit more, just, 100 US dollar. But if you want something which is easy to drive, all right, easy to the pocket itself, okay, doesn't cost too much, and you're gonna get the signature Crinacle sound, I would still say that Salnote 0 or 7Hz 02 is the one to go for. So how does it compare to the Singolo then? And as you can see there clearly, I must admit, I prefer the tuning of this 02 more than this Singolo because perhaps of my subjective preference. I don't like bassy IM, okay? Let me just, put it up clearly. The kind of IM which I listen to would be considered as too flat to many people. But then again, I try to be as objective as possible. This Singolo definitely exhibit similar kind of sound tuning to this 0 and 02, okay? But the key thing is that if you ever feel that this 02 does not provide enough amount of bass, dominance of bass, definitely Singolo is the one, the answer to that question.